Okay, sorry for that delay. We were having some technical difficulties over here. So, welcome back to day two of negotiations between MCEA and the Minidoka School District. So, just to recap, we came to an agreement last night unanimously. Um, and really, what we're waiting on is to review the agreement because we pretty much finished things up. And so Carrie Tibbetts worked tirelessly throughout the night, didn't sleep.
Well, that's true. I didn't because I was
Okay.
in my trees.
Anyway, and today, and got that typed up for us. We got it sent to Daryl, who's going to put it up on the screen for our review. Just to remind everyone, policies are included. There were some updates to policy, and that's really what we're reviewing. Just to make sure we're good with the language there.
Okay, so what I do?
Can we start with?
Okay, and we'll go ahead and introduce.
Bobby Ryan has put together a little something that he would like to read.
All right, so I'm a lot better at writing than speaking on the fly. So this is kind of going with what I was mentioning last night. And as a representative of the certified staff and the stakeholder in the negotiation process, I just want to take a moment to articulate the importance of aligning the master agreement with the current district practices and policies. First and foremost, the master agreement is not just a guideline. It's the controlling document that governs the working conditions, benefits, and professional expectations for the certified staff. The master agreement, like the U.S. Constitution, it's a living document. It's not designed to only structure the professional responsibilities, but reflect the core values that guide our district. We kind of mentioned that with like best of intentions while moving forward, right? So any discrepancy between it and the district policy creates confusion, inconsistencies in application, and in some cases undermines the trust between staff and administration. That's why it's not only appropriate, but essential to do these reviews and revise selections of the agreement that no longer reflect how the district actually operates. We recognize that any change to the master agreement is not something to be taken lightly. This document protects the rights, the dignity, and the working conditions of our certified staff, and it strengthens lies in clarity of the language, its fairness, and its power to hold all parties accountable, bring all parties to the table, and act kind of like a system of checks and balances for both sides. Nobody has too much power to do anything without anybody else's say. The proposed updates are to preserve the original intent of key provisions like bereavement leave, ensuring that staff continue to receive a full week of leave based on the current work calendar, moving from 5 days to 4 days. They also extend protections to staff who serve meaningful non-familial roles during funeral services, giving eulogies, serving any type of religious capacity for a service. In addition, revised language around emergency closures ensures those are compliant with current Idaho law while promoting the safety and consistency across the district. And just as amendments to the U.S. Constitution allow the nation to grow while honoring its founding principles, these changes ensure the master agreement remain a relevant living document that holds up to the rights of the educators while adapting to the needs of our schools. And with that, I'm sure we can all say, the Bill of Rights is a pretty cool thing. However, we have made amendments to our Constitution in the past. Like, if you're familiar with the 18th Amendment, we tried that out for like 13 years, and then we had the 21st Amendment eradicating it. So there's always room for improvement, clarity, and revision. And the spirit is still there to protect, but we really would like to work together to make all these revisions clear, understandable, and relevant to our current context. So.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. All right. Are we ready to review the draft collective bargaining agreement? Yeah.
So you didn't send out the. No, I didn't. I just the minutes. Yes. Because I did exactly what they wanted. I put the policies right from our thing right into them.
Can everybody see the screen? You can go through this. Or...
Do you want me to go through and explain what I did?
Yes, that would be great, Carrie.
Okay. Okay, so what I have done, there anything in red is what I have changed. So the preamble, all of the stuff, all of that is stay the same. We get to the grievance procedure. This is Idaho code. Oh, what page am I on? I'm sorry, page 8. Sorry, grievance procedure. It's Idaho code. It's taken right out of the law. One thing, I'm not sure if there was problems with it or not, but this is code. This is Idaho code, so what we have to follow. I didn't change really anything. I just copied the code and put it in. Are there any questions on that? Yeah.
As I read through this, it is pretty much almost word for word.
Uh-huh.
If you read what was there and what you put in is the same.
It was just too difficult for me to try and go into my policies, try to find and match stuff. So that's why I just put the new policy in there. It's not a new one, but just so there wouldn't be mistakes that I made. Okay.
So just for clarification, sorry. So where we've got here, it's completely crossed out. This is where you
Yes, the crossed out stuff is the old stuff.
and just placed the new in.
Yeah. So what I've done is this is marked up so that when I accept everything, it clears up. So everything crossed out is what I've gotten rid of. So the transfer.
Can we stop it?
Oh,
Is it possible to
Send this.
I can't see it.
There's,
can you send it?
you want a PDF? You want the?
I want the PDF. I
You
don't.
got the PDF.
No, this is my.
I know I don't have a PDF though, but I guess I can make it a PDF.
Yeah, unless you send it
I
to
can
me.
forward this. I've already got the email pulled up.
Sorry.
Can we look at grievance 2 and just discuss? Look,
Level 2.
yes,
Okay.
That was a little bit different, but the time frames in it
Yeah.
were longer.
It gave more days,
Yeah,
so it's more of an advantage, really.
that's the way I looked at it.
So it was basically the same, but longer days, and then with
time
clarification on how to proceed if there's no response, right?
I also had to add because with Title IX, it says let's 1, 2, 3 paragraphs down. If the complaint alleges a violation of Title IX, I had to add that. Okay, per law. So that was different too. In your old one, it didn't have that, but it has to have something with a Title IX. Any more questions?
okay, you guys should be getting it.
Okay, so there's the grievance one. The transfer one, I did not change at all. It's several years ago we broke it down into what was voluntary and stuff like that and vacancies. That has not changed at all. It's still the same, the policies. And please know that when it gets done, it'll be reformatted. It'll look a lot better. Okay, this is just a major draft one. Okay, same with the work day, the lunch, teacher prep, and instructional prep. None of that was changed. unless there's something in the old ones that you think we changed. Okay, next one is the emergency closure. This one we did change this year because it still had in it off-site learning and that. So we took that stuff out. And basically what it says is, it used to be like we'd have a certain amount of days that we got paid for, but it'll be up to the superintendent to decide that. Certified staff really never had to come in. That applies mostly to classified that we got. Certified staff has never been required to. But we did change this one this year just to take off that learning part. There were a couple other things stating that, you know, staff's supposed to stay until the kids are out of the building just to make sure the kids are picked up. Because there's been, when I've had to stay, there's been parents calling panicked and that because their kids haven't been home. So it just asks that you stay until the kids are picked up and then you can leave. Anything else, Spencer? Do you guys have any questions on that one? Most of the changes on that kind of apply to the classified people act, to be honest with you.
So the biggest changes to the emergency closure is just in clarity, right?
Yeah, we took, oh gosh, do you remember? We took out the learning part because we just don't do that anymore. And it used to have certain days you could, if it was emergency days, you got paid for it. But this one, and it's just basically for classified, like it says the superintendent at his or her discretion has the authority to allow classified employees to be paid all or part of those days without using leave. And it's the same. Some staff may be asked to come in, custodians, that, cooks. The leave was
Still
the same.
classified.
Yeah, and if leave was submitted for a closure day, that's the same. You don't have to use it. You'll be reinstated. Federal funds. It does say that after the maximum number of built-in emergency closure days has been exceeded, the Board of Trustees will make a determination to see how we have to make those times up if we do. And let's see, the notification will be the same. We did add the remind system because most of you guys are on your remind system. Yeah. And like I said, in the early release, it just states in the case of an early release, all staff should remain at school until all students are picked up, or unless other directed by your supervisor, your administrator. Professional development days, no change. Leave, personal leave is exactly the same. The sick leave, I did put this one in because you guys just had a tiny blurb. So I put the whole policy in with sick leave. It was just a small one. Still says, it states that how much you get, an accumulation. The one thing we did add this year on that though, it says if a new employee has been employed by another district or state educational agency during the year immediately preceding the individual's accumulated sick leave up to the maximum number of days allowed to accumulate in this district will be secured for and credited to that new employee. We didn't have that in there before, so if we get new teachers, they can use that. Let's see, all of that is the same. On this one, I think it was the same, but it was on the sick leave bank and you can't do that. You can donate your sick leave to another person with a form, and that you can't donate it to the bank, but you can donate it to a person. And I know that's happened a lot. It's like a person with cancer or something has asked for leave, you just personally donate it with the form. So in the sick leave bank, we separated into classified and certified more. We had to do a little bit of fixing on this just because of some instances that happened in the district that were a little bit frustrating. but it pretty much says the guidelines, the membership is pretty cut. I did have the classified in there. I could take that one off, though. That's the one I forgot because it has the for the classified also. I can take that out if you want me to. The use, the requirements. The requirements are the same as it always has been. You have paperwork you have to submit and a thing you have to follow. And there it says on the donation that others employees are not permitted to donate days to this via the sick leave bank for people. Okay. The sick leave bank, it's a complicated thing to do. So that's what it has there. Unpaid leave of absence. We changed this to read unpaid leave of absence / leave without pay. And that. So the extended leave is the same, exactly what it was in, everything that way. But we added the leave without pay because it's two different things. Leave without pay is like if you need 2 days and you don't have any more sick leave, personal leave. Unpaid leave of absence is basically if you want to go teach somewhere else for a year. So they're two different things, but people were getting them mixed up. So that's why we put the leave without pay. And the leave without pay is the one you have to submit a letter to the board to be approved to get that unpaid leave. And it's deducted out of your paycheck. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. The family medical leave, we have 3 things with this, and we have the policy, we have a procedure, and all that stuff. The policy just basically says what it is. It doesn't give you the directions as to what it does. So I put the procedure in here because it tells you exactly what you have to have and what you need to do. So this gives you guys more information than just the basic one. It states on there you still have a job. You know, it tells you how many weeks you have to work or days and that, but this just gives you more information as to what you have to do. And one thing that was added is that employees, they have to reach out to the district for it. If you need it, you need to contact HR to get it. Does that make sense too? Because the HR is not going to know who needs it. But it's exactly the same thing. I just put more information for you guys so you knew what you needed to do if you wanted to take it. Is there any questions on that? With FMLA, you do have to use all of your leave first, your paid leave first. Any questions on that? And there are a lot of forms for FMLA, but HR has them. That one's a long one. Okay, no fault leave, nothing's changed on that. And then here's our bereavement leave that we told you. It's copied straight from everything. The level 1, the level 2, funeral services, and that.
Thank you. Okay, Carrie, go back up for a little bit.
Up to
The level 1 relationship per event, and I think we agreed to well, it was supposed to say the 3, not 2.
I wonder if this is the wrong one. Sorry. So this needs to go to, hang on, to 3, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. This might have been the older one I put on. Okay. This one, it says too that with a bereavement you might be asked to provide proof of it because of situations we had this year too. And if you need more time, you simply have to request it from the superintendent. But this also helps you, like I said, if people have to conduct, whether it's the service or music or whatever, they no longer have to use their own leave. They'll be given leave for it. The rest of it is exactly the same. And then I have posted in the page, what number is that one? The salary. Daryl gave me the,
Benefits.
this is wrong.
Page
Page
30.
33.
I think I have the wrong one. This isn't here.
Yeah, because these costs are not right.
Okay, I pulled the wrong one up. Hang on a minute. Probably have a bunch of them open. That's the problem. 25, 26, right? Let's try this one. That's not the one I want. Anyway, let's find it. Okay. Oh,
Those numbers are different than Daryl's numbers.
these aren't, yeah, it's not
those
the
aren't
right
your
one.
numbers.
I said it's not the right one. Sorry, guys. I'm on my board instead of negotiations. I'll get it. You've got it.
No, I've got the ones you sent me.
Hmm?
I've got the one.
See that?
These are the files that I did
Yeah,
send Carrie
those are
today.
exactly what I have on there.
So this is the salary schedule. Let me zoom in here. So it uses the salary schedule from the state that we had discussed and voted on yesterday. We've got the loyalty bonus piece down here for the certified years of service, 30 plus years, 1,750 with the caveat of only if funds are available, and that will be determined in May. And then we did add on the bottom of this salary schedule this year the qualifications for movement
here it is.
on the salary schedule for either professional endorsements or advanced professional endorsements. So all staff has easy
Yes.
access to those
We do have to do
requirements.
And we put the loyalty bonus you guys wanted, only if funds are available, will be determined in May. So we've got the wording there. And I do have it here, guys. Sorry. I'll send. I saved it in the 24-25. Sorry, I'm still in that school year. And
And this is the piece of the insurance that was sent out for
yes,
how that would go.
yes. Do you guys want me to change anything? What do you want me to do? Are the policies okay with what I did on them? They're almost current.
So Minidoka, you said $1,251. Is that not?
That was using the other method. So there's two methods to pay for the state insurance. There's the pay for only those that enroll, and then pay for everybody who is eligible. So in the last, with the negotiated, or not negotiated, the insurance committee, we were still running on the worst case numbers, right? The most expensive, so the 12. So then as we went to prep everything for negotiations, we switched to the method that would get us the best insurance option, right? So this is the method that we would like to use of being the cheapest, and it allows us to cut off about $350,000. But those were all factored in yesterday's numbers.
So
And
what,
oh,
sorry,
just to clarify on that one, the original method was selective enrollment, and then this current method is enrollment for all, right?
Correct.
so on the insurance part, it says that the district will fund $1,148.76 per month for the individuals, and everybody's cost, the employee, is $70.74. And if you're choosing the HSA option, the district will fund $1,107.10, and they will contribute $41.66 to an HSA. The insurance also only has Delta Dental, and the cost to us will be $1,208. And then vision doesn't cost anything.
So is the 1208 added onto the 7074?
So those would be the pieces that would be the employee portion. So if the employee wants medical and dental, they get to pay both premiums there, the 70 and the 12.
Okay.
Yeah, so what, $89, $90? Yeah.
The dental's the same as it's been, right?
The
It doesn't
dental
have
option is
Willamette.
the Blue Cross Dental. We do not have Willamette.
But I mean, those are the same. That's the same cost.
Delta, yeah.
It's the same company. It's not the same cost. So the employee portion was, it was much less because we were covering about $55 out of that. So it was less. I think it made us maybe like $6 a person for just a standard individual. But yeah, that's the premium there. Or the employer cost up here, we do have a $28 that the employer has to pay. That is dramatically reduced comparatively to what we were having to pay. So it's about half of it.
And one thing too, when we would go on through this, if we'd have kept our same policy, we still had to pay almost $78 for it, for what we had, including dental. So, right. So what I'll do is, now that I've got the right one, I'll send it to all of you guys. And then when you ratify it or something, if there's changes, right?
Were there any more questions on the actual policies or things in the agreement that need to be brought up?
With the emergency school closure, you said you took out the learning part, so no online learning for students on a snow day or emergency closure. Okay.
I guess if they're
I was just gonna suggest maybe like a 10-minute caucus. So
Okay, all in favor of a 10-minute caucus? Okay.
It was me.
We just got food in our mouth.
Nicole just extended it for us. Um, I guess one of the things that we wanted to review was a little piece in the bereavement leave about, I can't remember how it was worded exactly. Um, Currently, it's got a member of the household that's not an immediate family member. Um, the bereavement. And I mean, we're, we're teachers. We've got tender hearts, I guess. But as we were talking, we've all had like extended stay, kids that weren't immediately family members that we've helped take care of. And I guess we didn't see that as a problem with, current leadership or anything. We just want to make sure that we keep something to that effect down the road. And yeah. So we were just wondering if there would be a way to keep an option for those that may be living with us that aren't immediate family members in that bereavement, even up to even like a level 2. 20, yeah, 22. 22. Yeah, description of a level 1 relationship.
It should be a level 2 relationship.
Well, we would just like, that sentence in there somewhere.
Okay,
Also include a member of the household who is not a family member.
Also, on number 1 of that, can we clarify um, exactly what the proof is going to be? Just so it's cut and dry. If you are asked to
You
provide,
want a
what are
pedigree
you
chart
wanting?
or proof of relationship?
DNA test would
I,
suffice.
Okay, we'll get right on that.
Um,
yeah,
I know, but if we
I'm
we
not
would like
sure.
it in there if it's so it's here it is, no questions asked.
We usually
On number 6, though,
we've looked at
no,
obituary.
hold on a minute. We're discussing number 1. We will.
I mean, I know we've looked at an obituary that has listed family members.
Right. I think we want to be careful listing specifically what we want there because if it's not available. So like not everybody prints an obituary. Sometimes it's going to be a pamphlet. Sometimes it just needs to be something else. But that way the employee, as long as they can come up with the, enough evidentiary support for their supervisor. Quite honestly, I've only run into questions on this one time, and
it's because it was happening multiple times in a year. We had a lot of ants. So other than that, we usually don't worry too much.
And I don't think, when with that in there, there's necessarily one specific thing that we're looking for.
Okay.
There's just too much, I think, that could work.
So could we? Yeah, could we leave it up to a supervisor, or a discussion with supervisor, something?
Employee may be asked to submit proof of relationship of death to his or her immediate supervisor.
I mean, I realize it may happen once a year. It may not. Just the more specific it is.
Tied to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged
That's what I'm
sword.
saying.
If
I don't
you
know
It is.
if you get
more specific.
too specific, then it rules things out, and there's no flexibility.
I mean,
And there needs to be flexibility.
Yeah, and I think the may be asked. I mean, if you're asked, that's kind of
I like may be asked.
of
Yeah.
what they want to ask for.
You could say something like, at the end of that sentence, evidence of proof should be discussed with
I like that
supervisor.
because then it's a discussion versus.
It has to be this.
Yeah.
Not changing, just a new sentence on number one. Like evidence of proof should be discussed with supervisor.
Should be discussed.
Mm-hmm. Now look at number 6.
That's kind of the same.
It is.
Well, now scroll back up to number one, please.
That's proof of relationship.
Yeah,
This one's a proof of
that you attended.
That you attended.
but that's a will. Do we really have people to a will?
We can change that to, I would be okay with a may.
I think
But-
that one is supposed to be is because if they participate, do you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Well, that's on number 7.
yeah,
Mhm.
7 and 8 says that.
Okay.
But
6, want me to take out?
no, I think
No.
you just put may.
Instead of will be, but maybe.
Maybe. Or
Maybe. Submitted to human resources?
Yeah.
or maybe asked to.
Maybe
Oh, I like that. Maybe asked to submit.
to submit.
Okay. Was there any further discussion on this policy?
And then, did we address the family or household, I guess?
Yes, I put that.
We put that on level 2.
Put that back in.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yes, I did.
may also include a member of the household who is not a family member.
So
Okay.
Carrie is changing it on hers, but
Yeah.
Daryl is the one
Yeah.
projecting.
Okay, but do you want to say current member of the household? That's something we talked about. Over the years, my son has brought home a lot of strays, and they've lived with me for quite some time. So, they call me mom. Their kids call me grandma. you know, but they're not, thank heavens, currently living with me. So
Yes.
you be
All right.
quiet.
Let's throw
Which number are we on?
3.
Number 2.
Wait a minute. No. 2 may also include a member of the
Yeah.
household who is not a family member.
So Zelma, so we added that statement to number 3. Okay, so it's a level 2 relationship is defined as the uncles, aunts, cousins, nieces, nephews of either the employee or his or her spouse or significant other. And it says it may also include a member of the household who is not a family member. So you're suggesting add the word current in there?
The current member of the household.
Current member.
It may also include a current member of the household.
Member of the
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's been added. Any more discussion on this policy? Kara, are you able to review those changes quickly?
Which one?
The
Ones
ones we just
added.
Oh,
So
okay.
like number 1,
Okay,
number
so
3.
number 1 it says the employee may be asked to submit proof of relation immediate supervisor. Evidence of proof should be discussed with supervisor. Number 3, level 2 relationships are defined as uncles, aunts, first cousins, nieces, and nephews of either the employer or his or her spouse or significant other. It may also include a current member of the household who is not a family member. And then I changed up, number 6, a program or other proof of bereavement leave may be asked. That doesn't sound right. A program or other proof of bereavement may be
as to be.
asked to be submitted, right?
Mm.
To human resources. And then of course we changed the days up there. I've got the days changed up there. Is that good?
Is everyone good with that policy?
Okay, let me save this and then
Yes, we are, and thank you very much.
We're just getting caught up on our minutes. Okay, further discussion?
Okay, so we'd like to look at the grievance procedure level 2. Did you make a mark on that one, Bobby?
level 2. Okay. Well, it's cold. Yeah.
We're not wanting to change anything. We're just wondering if we can put a hard enter there and make another paragraph.
Yeah, just a formatting thing.
That's all it. Just so you're not.
On the where this says the Title IX, is that where you wanted that?
Yeah, where would you like that?
I think it
The
was at
last,
the Title
I think it's the last sentence.
If the complaint alleges a violation of Title IX, is that where you?
No, this would be
After principal, right there, if the complainant alleges a violation of Title IX, because that's now starting a new.
yeah. After principal, after that first sentence.
Okay, so right
And
before it.
Yes.
right at the towards the bottom as well.
Another one.
And where's the other one?
Um, basically, if the superintendent agrees with the recommendation, or no, if the superintendent rejects the recommendation of the coordinator, and or either party is not satisfied with the recommendations from level 2, either party may make a written appeal within 15 days of receiving the report of the coordinator to the board for a hearing, since that's just a separate.
Got it for you.
All right. Is everyone good with that change? Or those changes, sorry.
We invited you, and you're to teach everything.
Okay, were there any other discussion items on policy?
Not with MCEA.
Okay, there are just two items that left to bring up. One is just in response to a concern that was brought up yesterday in interest. That was regarding class sizes. Just in, I guess, senior English or classes that the senior English students could take. So just looking at class sizes, 12, 27, and 32. And so, yeah, 32 is a large number. But we've got some room there. Next period, 21, 18, 28, 19, 12, 21, 27, 23, 17 and 22, and then 18. In semester 2, those same classes, 29, 22, 29, so a bit bigger, 16, 17, and 30, 26, 28, and 20, 31, 24, and 8 and 17, and 20. And I think we agree that class sizes in the district still need to be monitored. Some of those are relatively large. We have other classes like that at the middle school. We have classes that are approaching or at those numbers in elementary school. And so, we definitely need to be mindful. I do think where we're trying to fund the state insurance and the 2 steps, we'll look at everything we can do. Right now, I can't say as it would be to hire a new teacher, but definitely we can look at other things to possibly alleviate class sizes that are approaching those high numbers. Last item, just so everyone's, apparently I'm going too fast.
Got it. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Just wanted to discuss contract rollout, just so everyone's aware. So, Daryl.
So in truing everybody up with the state, all evaluations has to be submitted to the state through the CLDS, and that goes in June 30th, I believe, is the deadline on that one. With that, contracts are due out July 1st, but we won't know state movement until September. Somewhere in that time frame is when they turn around and say, hey, yes, you did qualify for AP1, or you qualified for P1, or so on and so forth, what movement you do or don't qualify for. So the process of rolling out contracts that we need to really just adopt and move forward with is the contract or the movement that we know. So this year we know a bit more than we did last year. We can move with where the state currently has everybody placed. We can already build that into this first contract. But for any other movement that would follow suit for movement for that second step, we really need to wait to see what the state's movement happens. Because from our business office view, we don't know whether your evaluation was low enough that you really don't even have any movement whatsoever. If you're stuck because your evaluation was poor or not, or if you did or didn't qualify for the AP1, with 400 or 500 staff trying to go through all their evaluations, that'd be super time consuming. But when we can pull that report from the state September and reissue updated contracts at that new higher level, that's the game plan. So it'll be a 2-step process. You'll get the initial contract because contracts have to be out July 1st. and then we'll do the updated contract for any additional movement that needs to be given to True Up.
Thank you, Daryl.
Well, the July ones you sent out by July 1st.
July should show movement because we have last year's movement already, right?
Oh.
We were froze, so I already know who has moved for last year's step. We
So
can
you'll
build
just
that
show the
in.
one, and then you'll go
Yeah,
and do
and then we'll have to go do another. So I can pull my IC reports right now and say, hey, where are staff placed on the career ladders and everywhere now, and award that movement in these first round of contracts. But as far as this next step of movement that would be awarded from this fiscal year 25 to fiscal year 26, we won't know that until about September.
Yeah. Okay.
Ideally, yes. That's the process that you're going to want.
So then aren't we late on contracts if we?
We're not late on contracts. It's just you're going to be seeing amended contracts or the second contract. Yeah, one that supersedes the second. Well, you'll want to accept it over the other one. What you want to do.
So you're saying there's an incentive to sign the second one.
Okay, with policy agreed upon and the language in the agreement reviewed, are we as a group, negotiation group, good with this draft of the negotiated agreement? Thumbs up. All right. Well, I think that was fairly painless. And we are done. I would like to thank everybody for participating in negotiations this year. Thank you for your input and what you brought to the table and discussion wise. It really is appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second?
And we can meet at Burgers, etc., and get an ice cream.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? All right, thank you.
By the way, the ice cream is